Hello and welcome back to the 410. My name is Adrian Pope, your host, and I'm back here with Parlay Tay. Now we need to get into the AFC East Parlay Tay, which I think would be the next best division on the map here. We'll start off here with Buffalo because obviously Buffalo is Baltimore's arch rival here in the playoffs. So tell me what you think about Buffalo this year. And once again, welcome back to the 410 show, Parlay Tay.
Thank you, appreciate that. Buffalo, I think they're gonna win the division. They brought in DJ Moore to replace Stephon Diggs. It's Josh Allen at the end of the day. He the best quarterback in that division. I think I don't even think it's close. And Buffalo is. I think they're gonna be Buffalo and be pretty good again.
Yeah, I believe same thing like you said. As long as they have Josh Allen, they're definitely going to be one of the top teams in their division or in the league for that matter. I do, however, always question when they get into the playoffs who's going to show up, right? And so DJ Moore, I feel like he's a little more solid than what they've had up there. Of course, Stephon Diggs was there, so he was doing what he needed to do up there. I wish the Ravens had found a way to get Stephon Diggs down here, but that's neither here nor there. Once again, get
Two
back to
Maryland
Buffalo.
guys we talking about too.
Yeah, it kills me to see them everywhere else, man. But at least he did slide his way into the DMV. We'll talk about the Commanders later on for sure. I want to see their defense always. That's kind of a thing with Buffalo to see if their defense is going to stand up. They were a little older. I think they added a couple new additions this year.
They got Bradley Chubb, so that's definitely gonna help them.
Yeah, absolutely. Bradley Chubb, one of the best defenders in the league, so that should help out. So I do feel like they have a chance to win the division.
They also got from the Ravens. Well, not from the Ravens because he went to Cincinnati last year, but Geno Stone.
Oh yeah,
he's pretty good.
He's off my radar as far as a Raven. He's already went to Cincinnati, so once he did that, I kind of just wiped him off the slate. I do want to see if they can get to the playoffs, Parlay Tay. If we can get a chance to go at them again, I would love to see that Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson rematch. I do feel like we were primed and ready to win that game down there in Buffalo. We just let it slip through our hands.
Definitely won that game.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do feel like Josh Allen have another MVP caliber season, so we'll stand by for that. Moving on in the division, of course, then I think like nipping at their heels. Absolutely, it's not the Jets. That's for sure. We're gonna talk about the Jets.
It's definitely not the Dolphins.
It's definitely not the Dolphins. Parlay Tay, tell them who do you think the next best team.
We talking about the Patriots. They had a great year last year. I think a lot of that was due to the soft schedule that they played, or some quarterbacks that were missing when they were playing them. They were catching teams at the right time off injuries. I still think New England could be a playoff team, but I think a lot of people are talking about them like they're AFC contenders. I don't see it. They did bring in AJ Brown. That's a big pickup.
Big pickup.
He kind of disappeared. AJ didn't really have the year we're used to AJ having last year, but I think a change of scenery for him is exactly what he needed. So I think AJ's gonna have a big year. But like I said, I think they lost Clavion Chason on defense. Mm-hmm. That dude's nice.
He is.
Yeah, I mean that's a big loss. I just don't think their defense is where it needs to be, and I'm not as impressed as everybody else seems to be with Drake May. Not saying he's bad, but I don't think he's up in that top 5-ish, top 10. It might not even be top 10.
I can see that, Parlay Tay. I see you're not as high on New England as I think other people would be. I do think that they have a great foundation with the coach that they have and kind of the infrastructure that he's building with them. Of course, adding A.J. Brown, he's a dynamic talent. So him not being on the sideline reading books this year is probably going to be good for him and good for Drake May because he's going to be engaged. I do feel like he's going to have top 5 numbers this year. Drake May's just going to keep throwing on the ball. They do have a big running back tandem out there with Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson being that switch up kind of thunder and lightning duo that they have. They have a lot of the key pieces that you need to win. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to get back into the fold this year, being as though the division is so weak. With the other two that they have on the schedule, that's almost like automatic wins there.
4 wins,
yeah,
right.
4 wins on the schedule. So I do feel like they'll end up in the playoffs. I think Mike Vrabel's going to have them going in the same direction that he's had since he's got there. So I definitely feel like New England will be right there with Buffalo if not fighting them for that number one position in the division. Drake May still has a lot to be shown to everybody, but his numbers and the way he performed definitely lead me to believe that he could be something special out there in New England. Not Tom Brady like, but special for sure. So we'll see how that looks. Moving on from them, obviously we have to talk about the other two teams in the division. Unfortunately, we'll start with the Jets though, because they seem to right now have the better forecast of a year. They did have 4 top 50 drafts picks last year in the draft, or this year, excuse me, in the draft. So obviously adding that influx of talent is going to help out. Tell them who they picked up, Parlay Tay. How did they even come close to having a shot in their division?
They took David Bailey with the second pick overall. He's going to get some sacks. He's going to start right away. He's obviously going to be an impact player. And some of those other picks, I think that they're going to get playing time right away. So it's a young defense.
They have to get playing time.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you not give them playing time out there?
And then, we got Geno Smith at quarterback. He back with the Jets from where... Look, he got a good story, Geno Smith. He was terrible when he originally started with the Jets. Then I think it was Seattle he went to first. And he turned his career around and turned into at least a starting quarterback in the NFL. He looked like he was just going to fade away. And so he's had a decent career as like the 20th best quarterback or 25th best quarterback. So he's a starter in the league, and it didn't look like he was going to be a starter. He's not going to take you anywhere in the playoffs. Geno Smith's not winning the Super Bowl anywhere, but he can win them 4 or 5 games maybe this year.
Tay, I'm going to just have to back you up just for 2 seconds here, man. I don't want you to walk down the plank with Geno, right? So I'm going to allow you to kind of retract a little bit there. But Geno, we watched Geno in the green room when it was draft day, right? And so my lasting impression of Geno is that picture I have of him in that draft room crying at the end of the first round because he didn't, get selected, right? And so I always had that on my mind. And so Geno, yes, he has done some good things in the league. I'm not a fan of Geno Smith. I don't think he can take you anywhere. I don't think he's a great quarterback. Does he understand the game? Yes. But I've seen Geno just make bad decision after bad decision after bad decision to the point where there's just no way I can back Geno. So the Jets are only going to go as far as I feel like their defense is going to take them. They do have a weapon in the backfield, though. So they don't have to just rely on Geno Smith's arm, which would be great for me to watch him just hand the ball off 25 times a game to those running backs they have.
He could throw the ball to Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's pretty good.
Garrett Wilson is good, but he just has to be great with his decision making up there, and because of he was there before, and it was a debacle when he was there before.
It was bad.
So now he's there again. So what do you think is going to happen if Geno goes out there and has a bad game? This is New York. My goodness, they're going to be jumping out of the stands to get rid of Geno. So I just see this year for the Jets going pretty much them going into a backup quarterback mode with the defense running the show, running the ball. I think because Geno is just going to get run out of town out there, man. After his first 3-4 interceptions, I see it, man. They're going to jump out of the stands and they're going to run him out of there.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's tank season for them. They need to draft a quarterback. Everybody knows that.
Poor Garrett Wilson. But we'll move on. We'll move on from them, and then we have to talk about obviously the team that we feel like. I think we both are in agreement on what the order of this division would be too. By the way, Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, is he in Denver now?
No, he's in Atlanta.
He went to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So he's now in Atlanta. Obviously, they've pretty much torn down the roster that they had last year to rebuild. They're rolling out Malik Willis as the starting quarterback. Bless your heart down there in Miami. I already know that this is not going to be the prettiest situation for them. Matter of fact, Parlay Tay, we need to just go ahead and look at the schedule. Whoever's Miami's playing that week, that's the lock. We already going to throw that in there on the parlay. We're going to go ahead and keep that going.
Whoever's playing Miami in Survivor, you should pick you should pick that team.
You just roll with Miami all year for them to lose. They might lose every game this year. I really see that being the case.
Yeah, I mean they are professional football players, and they might get 1 or 2 wins, but I can't see them winning more than 2.
The only team, I mean, I haven't looked at their schedule, but the only team I can even think about them may being able to beat would be the Jets.
Right, they do get to play the Jets twice. So,
and I know you're not going to sit up here and say they're going to beat Fernando Mendoza over there because I know how you feel about them. So, I mean, I'm looking around the league. Who are they going to beat?
There's always one Sunday where some kind of fluke thing
Yeah,
happens.
but
the
who?
ball bounces a certain way.
But what team is the ball going to bounce that way for the Sunday for Miami to win this year?
Their schedule.
Parlay Tay was fun. This division, obviously, the heavy hitters at the top. So we'll run down our top 4 real quick. We think that Buffalo's going to win the division. We think New England's going to finish up number 2. We think the Jets are going to be number 3, and of course Miami. Hopefully they get a win.
Yeah, we definitely agree.
Talking about the fantasy aspect of it, or the greatest players in the division aspect of it. Of course, you said Josh Allen, without a doubt, would be the top quarterback, and then of course Drake May would be the number 2. So there's really no conversation.
Nothing
there
to
for
talk
me.
about there.
Let's talk about running back. What do you think about running back? Of course, we have great running back for the Jets. Got a big contract. Also, we have that great tandem out there in New England. What do you think?
I think the worst team in the league has the best running back.
H.A.?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to go with him. I mean, he's a lightning bolt out there. That dude is super fast. He hits them holes. He's gone. And he going to get the ball a lot.
Yeah, they're going to have 9 in the box, though, because Malik Willis isn't scaring anybody throwing it deep anywhere. So, I mean, you know what? Malik Willis.
Would you rather have Tyler Huntley as your starting quarterback or Malik Willis?
I would have Shador Sanders. I would have traded for Shador.
You went with the third option.
Yeah, I went with the third option. I would have traded for Shador right out the gate. I would have seen what they needed for Shador, and I would have went and got him. I mean, at the end of the day, you bring Shador to Miami, what happens? What happens? Seriously.
It makes them a lot better.
But even in the aspect of people coming to the game down here, right?
Also.
So, I mean, I'm thinking it on that aspect, too. Malik Willis, Shador Sanders. Anyway, I'm not a GM. I'm not an owner, anything like that. So I don't know why I'm even talking business with y'all. Wide receivers, Parlay Tay. This division has a couple monster wide receivers. Who would you go with your number 1 receiver in this division?
I think I got to go with AJ.
AJ Brown?
Yeah.
I think you may be right on that one. I do want to see him a little more engaged this year. I don't know. I mean, DJ Moore being as though he's the Maryland guy, and you know what I mean? So I almost want to lean towards DJ, but AJ Brown is probably be the number 1 pick for me too. But DJ, because he's the Maryland guy, I'm probably going to get it as the DJ Moore.
I'm going to root for DJ Moore over AJ Brown, so I feel you.
I'll take DJ. DJ this time. What do you think about tight end in this division? We really haven't talked. We've been leaving the tight end university out of the conversation.
I'm trying to think who's this. Kincaid. He's pretty good.
Okay.
I'm trying to think who's.
I got hammered for not talking about Brock Bowers the other day.
Oh, I can see why.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like, come on, man. How do you talk about the Raiders without talking about Brock Bowers? So we got to make sure we bring up some of these tight ends, man. Thank you for joining us today on the 410 AFC East style. Please turn on the notifications. Me and Parlay Tay, we're going to get this job done here, get you caught up here for the preseason. We got the preseason games coming up here on Saturday. My goodness, the Ravens, they playing Philly. I can't wait to get down to the bank, Parlay Tay. Thanks again for joining us. We'll check you out soon.